I don't understand. Like, I don't even know.
Government's fricked.
The government's fricked. But you know what's not fricked? The DweeBros podcast.
We're very unfricked.
Yeah.
We're so unfricked, we frickin' left the old frickin' set.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we unfricked this location.
My room is free.
So
He's
hello,
free.
we are on a new set.
New set.
Thanks to your Patreon, the GoFundMe, and the Kickstarter.
This is a CGI wall behind
that we definitely
us.
have.
All CGI. Look at that. Just
at
look
that.
at it real quick.
We were able to afford these
Beautiful
characters. We've got Peter Pan and Tasmanian the Devil here for your enjoyment. So welcome. I am Dweebo /Zach /Gamerboy.
I'm Travis / Travis McCoy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty much not werewolf anymore. I've kind of put that to the end.
Yeah, that bombed.
Yeah. Crashed and burned. That was about as cool as my love life.
I always liked, if you've never seen Jake's channel, Werewolf, it's a great channel. I loved it.
It's a great channel.
It was
What
great.
was your last video?
Limbo, wasn't it?
Limbo. I was doing Limbo.
Did you ever finish
I did
Limbo?
beat the game, but I never finished the series. Good game.
People are say if you're still waiting for the Limbo.
Hey, if you're still waiting for I actually have a pre-record. I have it recorded. I just never put it out there.
Publish that thing, man.
Dude, it's so unpolished. Like,
dude, people like it raw.
Yeah.
People like the content raw.
yeah, man. Especially this generation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's give you some raw content. How was Valentine's Day in that course?
Valentine's Day. So, Valentine's. It was the month of love. We love games, but we also love people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just said people.
Oh, I said
you want to get sexist and just say girls only.
Gorillas?
No, I'm talking about his shirt. He has like a pink heart.
The gorilla. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
you said girls.
I thought that's why you were wearing the shirt.
And I was going to say I love everybody.
I mean, I love everybody too.
It's a dope shirt, man.
Thank you.
It really is.
Thank you.
You get it for Valentine's Day?
I got it from Christmas Day.
Oh, not close enough.
Yeah. Valentine's Day. What do you guys remember? Valentine's Day was such a big thing for me, like in high school or middle school. Like,
really?
When I had like crushes and stuff. Did you guys ever like get something for your crush?
I don't know that I ever got stuff for my crush. What I thought about this year for Valentine's Day was I remember back to elementary school when everybody would bring in Valentines.
Yeah.
So some people would bring like little Star Wars Valentines.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, like Pokemon Valentines.
Yeah.
Or the girls were bringing like flowery little Valentines.
Yeah.
And I had a moment at my job where I was like, I work in a smaller office with a lot of higher ups at the college that I work at. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, like, I'm in the mood. Like, I just want to buy like Star Wars Valentines and give one to everybody in my office. I didn't. I don't get festive about anything. Yeah. Christmas, whatever. It's just cool, whatever. I only really get excited about things different. But this year I just had the urge. I was like, man, I want it. But I didn't do it because I don't know, man.
They probably were waiting for
it. No one else did it. And that was what scared me was I was like, nobody else in where I work.
I think that'd been funny if you were the one passing out like, here's your Star Wars Valentine.
Yeah.
I
think next year I'll do it. But I missed that about Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
When everybody in the class brought in their Valentines and gave them to each other.
They had suckers attached to them.
They had little...
That's back when you like loved everyone. Like you were like...
Yeah.
That's before you knew what...
so simple in elementary school.
Before you knew what life was about.
Hey, last big memory. Last big Valentine's Day. The craziest Valentine's Day I've ever had. 6th grade. I was sitting there.
What happened?
Box was made. Little hearts on top of it. Sitting on my desk. I'm like...
Oh, yeah, because they would come and like pick it out. I forgot about that.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, a special one.
Yeah.
I know she's here. And every year you got that one Valentine that you open up and you're like, she wrote a personal note in there.
Yeah.
And this is kind of impressive. So you're reading through like, you're the best. And it just says that in bold text. But then you open the next one like, I think you're special.
Oh.
But then you notice it's written in pen. So then you know, this girl likes me.
Yeah.
She's digging me.
Yeah.
Turned out it was supposed to go to someone else. But I got that special note, right? You know what I'm saying? So the Valentine's Day back then was a lot better. I mean, now you're spending like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big investment now. And I just want to say in middle school, you know what I was? Classic. The classic dictionary definition. My face is in Webster's dictionary for nice guy.
Nice guy.
I was a nice guy in middle school. And I remember giving this girl like chocolates and candies and a stuffed animal or whatever I had a crush on. And I remember just like, it was in the gym and just going up and like putting it towards her where she was sitting at in gym and then just walking off.
You didn't say anything?
And like, I was just so nervous. But it was so funny
yeah.
because like I was friends with her and I was talking with her, but like, ooh, I'm getting you a gift.
I mean, did she know it's from you?
Yeah, because she saw me. I was like, here you go. And I walked
so
off.
You were like,
kind of like, back to playing basketball.
You kind of like hunched over and you're like, here.
I just said, here you go.
Thinking back on romantic encounters in elementary school and middle school and even early high school, I was so oblivious.
Yeah.
I was so incredibly oblivious.
Yeah.
Where even now I look back on some things and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, that girl totally liked me and was like giving me signals. And
Bro!
I was in my own world, man.
Sure, yeah.
I did not. It's very strange to look back. And being a nice guy.
Yeah.
I like you was the nice. I was so scared.
Yeah.
I was scared to ever tell anybody that I liked them.
Yeah, that was
very,
It was weird because like when it came to like socializing, I was good at like being the class clown and
like
that kind of
hanging
stuff.
out.
Yeah.
But when it came to
Cracking
girls, I
jokes.
was too super nice and I couldn't like crack it. I couldn't like, how do I interact with a freaking woman? And I learned treat them like a human being. And
Oh,
Yeah.
like, that was the most easy advice, but I just like,
Hey,
I got
nothing special.
I got too kind of like
They're
caught
awesome.
up on that.
Hang out with them.
Yeah.
But they're a human being.
So that's our advice for this podcast.
treat them like a person.
Treat them like a person.
And wait for that special...
If you're into guys, if you're into gals, if you're into...
gorillas.
Gorillas? If you're into gorillas?
If you're into both, treat them like
The
a
band?
person.
The band, yeah, the band.
The band. Yeah, the band. You can like gorillas, but don't like gorillas.
Yeah, like, you can't, like, give the nudge to the gorilla, but you can, like, look at the gorilla.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Well, we're on the same page. Okay, well, this month, that was the death back then. You were talking about elementary school of, loving everybody.
Yeah.
This month, Best Buy has taken the hatchet.
Oh,
Soon.
I saw this.
They're taking the hatchet to physical CD media.
About time!
It's Gonzo.
About time.
It's
Oh my god.
What car has a CD player in it anymore?
Mine. My car has
Okay,
a
well,
CD.
never mind.
Man.
When's the last time you bought
I think,
a
yeah,
CD?
okay, so when's the last time you bought a CD?
2009?
What? No.
Yeah, because I bought like this. I went to this church camp and I bought one of the bands who were playing CD.
Yeah.
That was probably the last time.
Well, that's
I bought
like,
a CD.
supporting a concert or something.
Yeah, that was the last CD I
That
bought.
makes
though.
sense, yeah.
In my post-college adult life, which is only a couple years, actually it's 4 years. Jeez. Okay.
Lots happened.
So, yeah, in the past few years, because I don't even know what happened in college.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I can't remember any of that.
No.
I bought 2 CDs. The first one is one I always have a copy of in my car, because if your phone's dead, if you don't have service, if you don't want to listen to the radio, there is one thing that you should have, and it is the greatest hits of Led Zeppelin. 2 discs. 2 discs. If you've never seen this, it's the red CD with the big Zeppelin on the front. I don't even know their albums. I've never listened to their albums. I just have the greatest hits. It's 2 discs. Can't go wrong. So I always have a copy of that. I have one in high school. I lost it, so I bought one a couple years ago. The other CD that I bought was Metallica released a CD in 2016, and I bought that because that's going back to being a kid. That was my favorite.
Keep talking
band.
because I just realized I have the last CD I bought here.
Gotcha.
Keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are the last 2 I remember. Other than that, man, it has been a long time since I bought CDs. I'd buy CDs even when I was in high school and stuff. I downloaded so many things illegally that I really only bought the albums I really liked, and I don't do that anymore because there's Spotify and there's other ways to get music.
Tell me this: does this count? If I buy a game and it comes with a soundtrack, and I listen to it, I
don't really count that because they packaged it in.
They packaged it in. You weren't seeking it out.
Yeah, you didn't seek that.
So for me, the last one I bought was Modest Mouse's album from 2007. So 2007, around that time, it's funny when I think back on like analog like media stuff, like 08, 09 was kind of like a transition period.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people on stuff like that, but just in honor of CD, we're going to put that right here, boom, in front of Peter Pan.
Dude.
And then this was the last one I received, and this is Prize Fighter Inferno.
Dude, that's a good album.
Yes, it is awesome, and this came out 06. Oh, actually, that was the one. I thought this was the last one, but this last one I kind of received as a gift. But We'll just put, hey, this came with like tarot cards, so we can get real weird tonight.
If we
wanted to get real fricked up, if we wanted to frick up this location, we could.
I've never seen a physical. If you guys don't know Prize Fighter Inferno, it's the singer from Coheed and Cambria. It's his side project.
Yeah, that album was awesome.
I think he's made 2 albums in that name, and this was the first one. If you don't like or have never listened to Coheed and Cambria, top 5 favorite bands, probably number 1 or number 2 for me of all time. Excellent band.
I've seen that one quite
And Coheed and Cambria just announced a tour that they're doing with Taking Back Sunday and The Story So Far, which I don't really care as much about those 2 bands, but Coheed is a fantastic band.
I love the cover of the CD.
It's cool.
It's very cool.
It's Illuminati. Before Illuminati
his music with Prize Fighter is more
like nice.
Just like synths and like weird beats and like acoustic guitar.
I always listen to that album only in the winter because I got it in the winter and it's got a wintry kind of theme to it. Is there any like albums you guys have that or like things like even like video games or stuff that you only play during a certain season?
Here's how I go. I really like when it starts warming up in spring, which it is right now. It was 65 degrees the other day.
Yeah.
I like synthy kind of music, like synthy, like Porches. I like them right now. I've been listening to a lot of MGMT, but I also the other day when the sun was out, and especially in the summertime, that song you showed me by Ansel Angel, is that her name?
Or Angel Olsen.
Angel Olsen. Yeah. I can't remember these people's names. So that
Adams.
Yeah, that album is fantastic.
Yeah,
that album is super fantastic.
Yeah. There's certain albums that just kind of fit a certain mood or like upbeat.
Yeah, driving out.
This summer, I'm like, summer's rap.
Summer
for me is
summer for you is
pure rap.
Okay, yeah.
I listen to a lot of rap in the spring too.
Yeah. But you're not like, you're not rocking 50 Cent when the snow and it's real like.
Normally when the snow and stuff's around, I tend to listen to more like acoustic stuff.
Okay,
kind of like mellow, chill.
Yeah.
Fleet Foxes is what I've listened to in the winter too before.
No, believe it or not, fall for me is rock. Like I go back to old school rock.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why. I always end up listening to Aerosmith. I end up listening to Leonard Skinner. All the people like that.
Yeah.
Like AC/DC. I would listen to a lot of AC/DC this past fall, and man, they were so like thinking phenomenal. But that's just me.
I used to do a weird thing where I would only play Spyro the Dragon 3 on New Year's. And I wasn't even noticing it until like the 4th year in a row. I was like, I've played this and beat this for like
maybe
every time.
You developed yourself into a habit.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like your body can't like function without it.
I don't know what it is. I want to talk about real quick movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
What about them?
They're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all. All right, next up, movies. I saw some movies. Very surprising release this month because nobody knew it was coming.
Yeah.
The Cloverfield Paradox. Did you hear about this?
I have not. And to be honest with you, I'm going to lay the groundwork now.
Okay.
Movies are not my strong suit.
Okay.
I don't pay for movies. There's 2 movies I'll ever pay for. 2.
Oh, they give them to you for free?
I may or may not watch them in other memes.
Okay.
Memes, not memes.
In other memes. Yeah, I watch movies and memes.
You watch movies.
I watch it like on Netflix, but I'm watching movies from 2005 that I have not watched yet.
Well, you're catching up. That's okay.
So
this one actually snuck up on everybody, and it was Cloverfield Paradox. They announced at the end of the Super Bowl.
They announced that at the Super Bowl, yeah.
I think that is so awesome. And they did that with the previous Cloverfield. They did weird stuff with that, too. Well,
yeah.
The first Cloverfield, I should say, was only called like 10/18 something.
It was just the date.
08.
There was one.
It was just the date. Yeah. And nobody knew what the name was until like very close to release. 10 Cloverfield Lane was announced and released the month after it was announced. And then this one was announced like very close to like, they just said, hey, it's coming tonight. And they just released it. And for that, this movie, did you watch it?
Not yet. We were meaning to, but we didn't watch it.
This was awesome for being just a random thing you didn't know existed earlier that day.
Yeah.
It's not the best thing in the world. It's basically a B movie, made straight to DVD kind of thing. But very cool premises and cool stuff.
I'll tell you something interesting about that movie. That movie was called God Particle. Mm. So that's what its working title was. And everybody was kind of linking it, thinking it was going to be a Cloverfield movie because Bad Robot was involved with it. And the premise sounded like a Cloverfield type thing. But there is kind of a lot of people who think that movie was supposed to come out in theaters. It was. God Particle, which is the working title for this movie, was supposed to come out. They didn't set an official date, but it was supposed to come out fall. But a lot of people think that what ended up happening was, as the movie came together, they didn't think it was good enough to go out in theaters, so they signed a deal with Netflix. Yeah. And Netflix is kind of becoming known for that now, of movies that are not the studios. In the past, if a studio made a movie, they had to put that movie in theaters. Because if you spend even $20 million, which is not a big budget, if you spend $20 million, you have to make that money back, and you're not going to make it on home DVD sales, so you have to put it out. So for a long time, January was kind of a dumping ground where theaters would just put out their movies in January that they knew nobody would go see. But now with Netflix, they could sell the picture to Netflix for $10 million or make back some of their investment and see, maybe people will like it, maybe they won't. So a lot of people think that this movie, they knew it was not going to do well in theaters, so they put it out on Netflix.
It was a smart thing. So not the best movie, and then but very fun. And then the new actual theater Cloverfield is out in April. So
they made a B version Cloverfield and an A version Cloverfield.
There's another Cloverfield film that's like legit.
This April? Is it a sequel to Cloverfield?
I think it's like Cloverfield 4 is what the working title. I don't know. Like it's.
I didn't know there was another one coming out soon.
I
love 10 Cloverfield Lane, and I like the first Cloverfield a lot.
Yeah, but that was neat.
How would they get movies put together that quickly?
That's the thing with 10 Cloverfield Lane and God Particle. They were written, conceived, and directed. Even 10 Cloverfield Lane was completely shot and made before they knew it was a Cloverfield movie.
Yeah.
Bad Robot kind of looks at mid-tier, lower-budget pictures and finds things that they think would connect well, and either they get involved during production or in post-production, and they bring it over. 10 Cloverfield Lane was not a Cloverfield movie at all. They bought the movie and then they added like a couple things to it that kind of like they added like a sign and like pickup shots.
So if someone directs a movie, it's not called Cloverfield. Yeah, company buys it.
It's happened twice now. Yeah,
and now that's the series.
I think with God Particle, which is Cloverfield Paradox, I think they got involved a little bit earlier, like in early production and like pre-production. But yeah, I think it's Cloverfield isn't actually a series. It's kind of like an anthology series. Yeah. They kind of have aliens or maybe like dimensional stuff.
X-Files.
Kind of, but completely different universes.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if the universes are going to connect eventually, but they are completely on their own so far. Each movie, at least the two I've seen. Like 10 Cloverfield Lane is not like the same alien attack. Well, you got to see the movie. Maybe there's not an alien attack. It's not the same. Well,
you had 2 years.
You've had 2 years. Go see it either way.
So 2 years is the limit then, right?
No, there is no limit.
Okay, Dwayne The Rock Johnson in Doom becomes infected. I watched Doom this year.
Nobody cares if you spoil Doom. Anyway, you could watch any one of them, and they're just kind of their own movies.
Gotcha.
So another movie I saw. I'll just package these in two, but I saw 2 movies from the director Harmony Korine, who made the movie. His most successful movie was Spring Breakers with Selena Gomez and James Franco.
Wait a minute! I heard about this movie. Does it take place in a house? And
that's James Franco. He's like a rapper.
It's called Neighbors.
Yeah, that's not the same movie. I know what you're talking about.
Spring Breakers is like all these girls, like Selena Gomez and them, are like down on spring break, and then they meet James Franco, who's like a rapper with like a grill.
You actually give me a month. Let me study a bunch of movies and then quiz me.
Okay.
And give me the premise of the movie.
We'll call the cycle or the segment Jacob's Corner.
Yeah,
again,
that's not a bad idea.
Jacob's Films.
Parcels.
I watched Gummo, and I watched Julian Donkey Boy. Now, this director is very artsy. It's very art house films. They're kind of like cerebral and kind of like, I don't know, artsy-fartsy kind of stuff. But Gummo had parts in it that were like audibly made me like gasp at some of the stuff they do. A lot of his movies, Gummo and Julian Donkey Boy, are 2 where they just have kind of just actual people. They just pick off the street and just have them act in these movies. There's a part in Gummo where they literally just kind of put a camera in a house and they let these non-actors like just do stuff. And that was the highlight of the movie. Was just reality, these actors kind of interacting. It's really freaking cool. If you don't like animal cruelty, maybe stay away from Gummo.
Gummo looks so weird.
It's got some kind of hard to watch parts on that, but very cool. Julian Donkey Boy, I had the biggest turnaround I've ever had in a movie I've ever watched with Julian Donkey Boy. Started that movie and went, I hate this. This is a 1 out of 5 to me. Like, I hate this movie. By the end, 5 out of 5.
Was that his new movie?
No, it's from 99. Yeah.
It's called Donkey Boy?
Julian Donkey Boy. That started out, it's about a schizophrenic, teenager, whatever. and they kind of just show through different like like vignettes, and that's how Gummo was like they're just vignettes, they're just experiences. They're not like there's not a really big kind of plot line thing. They're just like, here's this character, and this character is like rapping with these other characters, and then it goes to this other thing, and you just kind of get a story that way.
Gotcha.
Very cool. So check them out if you're just into you don't know what to expect kind of stuff. And I watched a 1966 film called Django. It has a theme song, Django.
I've heard that.
And all Westerns are cool because if you've ever seen a Western, it's just like people going, I'm going to beat you up, I'm going to shoot you. And he's like, try. And then he shoots 18 people in one shot. That's every Western, and I love it. And
I watched Django. I think I watched Django with you.
Not Django Unchained.
Yeah.
There's a difference?
Django Django Unchained is based loosely on what I'm talking about.
Is Django... No, that's Ringo. That's the little bit closer.
A little different.
Okay, just a little bit. Dang, are you serious? I watched Django Unchained. I was ready to talk about this.
But something, cool little thing, in Django Unchained, they actually have the main actor from Django play a cameo. He like talks to the guy at a bar.
Wait, Django Unchained, it doesn't play Django?
No.
Jamie Foxx is not in Django.
No.
It came out in 1965?
He was not born. I don't know if he was born. Or
it came out in 1965?
1966, yeah.
1966? I thought it was just like based on 1966.
No. Jamie Foxx is in Django Unchained.
I know that. Okay, but when you say that's a Western movie, in my mind that takes place during the 1960s or something like that. Wait, that's
1800s.
Guys, I don't watch
1880s.
I do not watch movies at all. So do you know what? Just go on.
The last one I saw, Shape of Water. That came out last year.
That's on my kill list.
That would have been a contender for me for Movie of the Year.
The title sucks.
Blown away by it.
Go ahead.
It's by Guillermo del Toro, our buddy. That's Guillermo. He's going to be in Death Stranding. You've seen him. Very, very cool movie. Some of the stuff they do in it's like so exciting. It's based kind of like in the 50-ish kind of era and stuff. Very freaking cool. Absolutely recommend that if you're into just weird, fun stuff.
That is on my list to watch, but have you heard the controversy?
No.
Do not let this... it won't ruin your experience of watching it. You've heard about this?
No.
They hurt the fish.
There is a lawsuit right now of a family of a playwright who wrote plays in the 60s. And there's a play called something about Hear Me When I Whisper or something.
Oh, no.
And this play is about...
that movie.
It is basically the same plot. I mean, if you've seen the trailer, like an amphibian creature and a cleaning lady and a whole thing, and and it's even specific details and imagery are in this play.
Oh, shoot.
So here's the thing, though. That movie was not made as we're adapting this play. It's up for Oscar Best Original Screenplay, I think. And it is it is very strong possibility that the producer on the movie, not Guillermo del Toro, but the producer, he is well known for being a big appreciator of that playwright.
Oh my gosh.
And he came to Guillermo del Toro with a basic story, and del Toro made the movie. So there is a really big controversy right now that Shape of Water might have been plagiarism. Here's my philosophy on this. I typically side with the newer artists, because there is no movie that has not been made already. Yeah. There is no story that's not been told already. My one reservation, though, is, and I've heard that there are some very specific imagery things that are like in words that are used. So it's that they probably took it.
Yeah.
But
if you're that specific, I
don't think that means that the playwright's family should get all the money that the movie made. Maybe something should be done. Yeah. But I'm not a fan of these two songs have the same chords, so you're a thief.
Yeah.
It still takes effort to make that song and to do what you're going to do.
But some things are going to be different enough where it's like...
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like this movie's riding the line, then, from what I've heard.
All right, I take it back. Don't watch Shape of Water.
I'm planning to watch it. I
actually saw the trailer for that when I watched The Avengers. I think. Okay. So that's why I think I know what you're talking about.
Odd trailer to be paired with the Avengers.
Well, it's I remember you saying it's about an amphibian creature, and I was like, a cleaning lady. And I was like, I've seen this trailer.
Yeah.
It just popped in my head. I've seen this trailer. She's hiding them. He was like an experiment or something like that.
Yeah.
I've seen the trailer.
There you go. There you
I can talk about movies.
You basically saw the movie.
Really? Sweet. The movie must have sucked.
No. I actually did see the trailer because I wasn't interested in seeing it, and I was like, this looks okay. I'm glad
it's got strong buzz for
I loved it.
Okay, maybe it doesn't suck.
So enough of that jazz. 2 shows I saw real quick. I want to recommend Better Call Saul It's older.
I've heard about that.
I think it's about to be on the 4th season.
Yeah.
It's a spinoff of Breaking Bad.
No.
And stars Bob Odenkirk, who played Saul in
I haven't watched it.
Breaking Bad.
I loved Breaking Bad.
And I was so against this because it was announced right before Breaking Bad ended. I was like, I don't think we need more.
It felt
Breaking
like Fear
Bad.
the Walking Dead.
Yeah, I was like, we don't need a spinoff. That's gonna suck. And me and my fiance started it, and we're like 6 episodes in. Really enjoying it. Very fun. Yeah. And it's a prequel done right. If you're going to do a prequel, set it up to where, like, wait, how does things get to where the original source, you know what I mean, the original movie or TV show, how in the world did these characters get to there? Monsters, Inc. was another good example of doing that. But definitely check out Better Call Saul if you like Breaking Bad, even if you didn't. Fun movie.
So would you say I would watch better? I haven't watched either of them. And I've been debating for a very long time about I need to do Breaking Bad.
Start with Breaking Bad.
Really? Yeah, watch Breaking Bad. Don't watch.
I think you could. People that haven't seen Breaking Bad could enjoy Better Call Saul, but man, I think you're missing like 30% of the fun of it. Maybe 30 to 40% of like the enjoyment.
So at that point, I question the quality of a prequel because I'm like, if a prequel can't tell its own story without
it does.
You could watch Better Call Saul.
You get more enjoyment. You get like, oh, this and this is happening, and
so me knowing like. The stuff in Better Call Saul won't help Breaking Bad.
It's not that it doesn't stand on its own, probably. It's just that it is made afterwards, so you will enjoy it more.
Yes, and another thing, if you did just watch Better Call Saul, there's moments when like a character will show up, and that will be kind of like the big moment of the episode, and you'll just go,
"Who's that?
Why do I care?" You know what I mean? Like you'll just kind of be like, "Okay." But
I guess that kind of does go to your point of maybe it doesn't stand up on its own.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure,
like,
that's a good point.
I'm not trying to like crap on it because I'm sure it's amazing because they didn't make it after Breaking Bad, so the intention was for you to see it after Breaking Bad. But in some mindsets of people who haven't watched it, how does that show stack up by itself?
The answer to this always is always release order.
Yeah.
If you ever find yourself asking, what order should I watch these movies? Yeah. What order should I watch these shows? What order should I play these games? 1,000% of the time, the answer is always release order, and then skip ones you don't want to do.
Yep. Second thing I watched, I'm not done with it, but it's a new series on Netflix called Dirty Money. I don't know if you've seen that when you popped on Netflix or whatever. I kept seeing it popping up. I was like, what is this crap? And I watched it, and oh my gosh, it is about differing like things, businesses throughout like, I would say past 10 to 20 years of like people screwing over people for like money in large amounts, and like it is shocking.
It's like a documentary.
Episode 1, it's a documentary series. So each episode is a different scandal that happened or a different thing. Episode 1 really drugged me in, and like that's why I kept watching the rest of the series. It was Volkswagen. Like, did you remember that? Like from 2016 when they basically were avoiding like cheating the emission stuff. Bro. Oh my gosh, I thought I knew a lot about that. Watching the episode, it's like a Black Mirror episode.
Wow. They took all those cars,
bad, like what they did,
and they stored it by the old Pontiac dome.
Yes,
that they're trying to blow.
They talk about that,
and it's like, at what point do you sit there and think like, all those cars that I don't know if you ever saw like the aerial view of it.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah. Like
it's extremely
huge.
bad.
It's a huge problem.
But what they did was very bad. But check out those two series.
Real fast, going back to movies, I watch with my lady who's never seen these. We watched the Star Wars prequels this month.
Good choice.
We watched because she's never seen them and she wanted to see them. And this goes back to always watch release order.
You don't warn people about stuff.
So
you say, hey, like,
no,
sure?
Did you let her know they were bad?
No, she knew. She knew they were bad. Okay. She just wanted to see them. But rewatching those, they're bad.
Confirmed.
They're real bad. I will say, I used to think that Phantom Menace was my favorite prequel because I like the Darth Maul fight, and I still think the Darth Maul fight is the Darth Maul Qui-Gon Jinn Obi-Wan fight. That is the best lightsaber fight, pound for pound, in Star Wars.
General Grievous.
Because it's because it is very well choreographed where it's not over the top, but it is also really good. And there is like, even though the story in Phantom Menace is kind of crap, it's really touching when Qui-Gon dies and Obi-Wan is all pumped up. If you haven't seen Phantom Menace, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what to do for you. But I will say, though, that has now flipped. That used to be my favorite. That is now flipped. I think I like Revenge of the Sith better. and here is why. I always hated on Revenge of the Sith. People are always like, Revenge of the Sith is the best prequel. It's the darkest. It's the coolest of the three. And I was like, no. It sucks.
Yeah.
I will say this.
I'd say 3 is probably...
Watching Revenge of the Sith, we just watched it last night or the night before, I can't remember. It had me. Like, it honestly had me for the first two-thirds. It's still got some crappy, CGI, overuse of CGI. It's corny at times. But honestly, it was really good. Like, I was really enjoying it. Yeah. It would have been my favorite of the prequels. Yeah. The problem with that movie is the third act. Because they realize, we got to make it like A New Hope. And now, get him in the suit. Okay, here's Chewbacca. Okay, Luke and Leia are here now, and they're born. And they're on the same ship at the beginning of A New Hope. And it was like, man, they felt like they had to wrap that whole thing up. They could have made the beginning of Revenge of the Sith a whole movie, and then have a couple years break, and then have the ending of Revenge of the Sith as its own movie, and just gotten rid of Phantom Menace.
It just went. It was like boom, boom.
I really like
got too fast.
That. I do like kind of what happens in Revenge of the Sith. Probably the best of like the fall of the Jedi and all this stuff. Like it just turns into pandemonium.
Hey, that right there. Chaos. Like I understand when people say like, it's the darkest. I mean, it truly is. When you think
that movie's really dark.
You think about all 6 of the movies. That was the darkest moment in like Jedi like history. That's like in movies.
Yeah. So that coupled with, I really actually thought that the beginning sequence when I was just coming at it, not jaded, I was like, I like Star Wars. I'm going to try and watch this. I haven't watched this in like many years. I actually thought the opening of that movie, like them flying in and the space battle, and then they get on the ship, and then they get with they fight Count Dooku, and then Grievous escapes, and they land the ship. That opening 20-25 minutes, it was really good. Like it was goofy at times and stuff, but like it felt like Star Wars.
That's also
it felt like
that's the movie where Anakin kills the younglings. Right?
Yeah, that is the movie where Anakin kills that's where the movie, and I saw it on her face. She turned to me and was like, "They've lost me," because 10 minutes before that is maybe one of the best scenes in Star Wars. Is Anakin has been told to wait while they go, while Mace Windu goes to confront the Emperor.
Yeah.
So Anakin does. He goes up to the Jedi Council chambers, and he's by himself, and he waits. And Padme is on the other side of the city in her apartment, and she goes out, and it looks like Blade Runner. Like, it's like a sunset over the city, and Anakin is just sitting there waiting, and she's sitting there waiting, and it's like going back and forth, and then he stands up and looks out at the sunset, and like he's looking at their apartment, and she goes and looks out, and she's looking at the Jedi Temple, and he's realizing, you can tell he's realizing, if I let them go kill Palpatine, I might lose my chance to save her. And it's like, there was no dialogue for like a minute and a half. It's almost complete silence. There's no music. There's nothing. And they're just looking out at the sunset together. I was like, man, like, that was actually a good little, like, quiet sequence that was rare for those movies. So, Revenge of the Sith, best prequel, still a average to bad movie, though, overall.
I remember, though, just while we're talking about this, Revenge of the Sith, they made a game out of that movie.
Yes, they did.
On the
Xbox.
Xbox.
That good game?
I loved the game.
I've never played it, but I remember it coming.
We got it on Hollywood Video.
Video,
Dude, I miss Hollywood Video.
We rented it. We used to have a thing where we got one free rental a month, and me and my brother used to alternate each month. It was for a week. So my month was like, we just got the Xbox. I was like, I want to play Revenge of the Sith. This movie was awesome.
That's cool.
So I got Revenge of the Sith. It was the best multiplayer Jedi game because it lets you battle multiplayer with Jedi. So I used to play. Me and my brother used to fight each other, and it was phenomenal. It was open world. It was like
you would like a game I recently discovered. I went over to my friend's LAN party a year or so ago and discovered, I think it's just called Jedi Knight.
Yeah, Jedi Academy.
Yeah. Jedi Academy. That game is freaking rad. You can run on walls. Mm-hmm. You can, and you do like lightsaber battles.
I love the game.
And you can have like 4. You have that game?
Yeah, I have
that game. That would be a fun hangout because that game is.
I would like to play
10 out of 10.
Isn't the one where you start out with like Luke is like trying to train?
We only played the multiplayer.
Oh, okay.
We should absolutely do that because I ain't never played that game.
That game is like 10 out of 10 Star Wars game.
I think that'd be awesome.
Speaking of games, was that it for movies?
That's it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You know what? Gaming news. There wasn't much really to talk about this month.
Quiet.
But we can talk about this Tasmanian Devil. Crash Bandicoot is getting Switch ports and PC ports. It leaked out. And also, not only that, it was some Spanish retailer. You know what? These retailers need to shut their trap, I bet, because they just keep opening their mouth. It's good for us, but...
Bad for them.
you're going to get bit by the marsupial.
Oh.
Yeah. Also, they announced a new Crash Bandicoot game is coming. So I don't know if it's...
really?
Yeah. So that was in there.
Crash Bandicoot.
And I think the Spanish retailer was a toy manufacturer.
Activision didn't announce that. They leaked
it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was actually like a toy
manufacturer.
Crash 4? So that's what we don't know. Is it a Crash 4 or is it CTR? Crash Team Racing?
I bet it's Crash Team Racing, but if they make a new Crash 4, do they go level-based or do they go
open world?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Imagine an open world Crash.
I don't think they would do it
unless they take cues from Odyssey.
Yeah. We'll see what it is. I would not want anything other than like a classic style.
I'll be honest, I have it on the PS4. I don't see myself buying this on Switch or on PC.
Yeah,
me neither. That's cool if you don't own it.
I don't think
I'll
have
a PS4.
That terrible experience on 60 frames and get that mad.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Crash 1 is very hard.
Dude, Crash 1 is very frustrating.
Crash 1's too hard.
That's cool news.
Crash 2 is just right. Crash 3 is too easy.
Yeah, Crash 3 is very easy.
There's your summary of the
Crash
games.
3 is one of my favorites.
But yeah, that was
one other thing.
Well, they said new game is 2019. That was like a game specific.
That'd be cool if it was Crash Team Racing. One other thing that leaked was, and this is not something I directly care about, but I think that it could indirectly connect back. So what has EA always said? We don't do remasters.
Yeah.
We don't do remasters. We're never remastering Mass Effect. We're never remastering Skate. We're never doing any remasters. Well,
Skate 4.
It leaked that they are doing a remaster of Burnout Paradise.
Oh yeah, that is
so now here, listen. Yes, that is not the game you want, but it could be a thing of kind of dipping their toes in the water of finally doing a remaster. That is the same gen that Mass Effect and Skate were. So I think that that's good news. They had their CEO change. True. Their head, Peter Moore, he left to go coach soccer or something.
Yeah.
He left, and then now I think that's interesting. So Burnout Paradise, if you're a fan, here you heard it here first. If you haven't heard it yet, there is going to be, I think,
I like Burnout. Burnout's crazy insane. It's the one racing game I'll be able to play because it's just like so over the top.
Yeah.
But man, like the hope this gives me a little bit. In fact, we might nail a Skate down. We might nail like a Mass Effect remaster.
I would be in love with the ideal of remaster the Skate games. I want a Skate 4.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm so hungry. I'm so deprived of
Skate. Do you trust EA in 2018 to make that what it needs to be?
Every trick is a microtransaction.
Hey, you have to unlock the analog stick.
Hey, wait. That's one other news story. Disney, it leaked that they're maybe trying to get rid of EA off of the Star Wars.
Oh,
they brought EA into the principal's office, and I guess there was a little talking too. And I don't know. I think they might be shopping around.
Dude, this is the darkest period. I feel like this is the period between the prequels and the old trilogy or the original trilogy where like they were just killing Jedi. Yeah. There was nothing going on. This is the worst period.
Terrible.
As much as they're releasing Star Wars movies every 10 seconds. They are not doing anything on the games front. They've released 2 games, Battlefront and Battlefront 2. And here is the freaking problem, man. We were just talking about Jedi Knight. Yeah. We were just talking about KOTOR a couple months ago. Star Wars games are supposed to be mid-budget. They are not supposed to be like super polished, taking 5 years to make. Like, pump those things out. That world is fun enough. Spend a moderate amount of money and just make games and get them out there, man. I hope that EA loses a license and they go to. I would be fine with Ubisoft. I would really like Bethesda because Bethesda makes good single player games. Yeah. And they've shown that they care about that. But so that's the thing.
You brought that up. I was hanging out with my friend yesterday, and he's been begging me, Jacob, re-download Star Wars Battlefront. He's like, do it. And I'm like, why would I? 1. And I'm like, why would I do 1 if I can get 2?
Yeah. And
he's like, dude, I'm telling you, 2 is trash. More people are playing Battlefront 1 right now than Battlefront 2. Looked it up. He's right. More people are playing Battlefront 1 than Battlefront 2. So,
well, 2 was a total, like, lost cause because of the microtransactions.
Yeah.
Everything was built on that base. So
1 was fun enough. It just didn't
wasn't.
It didn't stick to your bones. It felt like eating icing.
Put 20 hours into it.
Playing Battlefront 1 felt like eating icing. Okay? Yeah. And then they came out and they were like, here's a cake. Here's a full cake for Star Wars Battlefront 2. And then you cut into that cake and you look inside and there are worms coming out of it.
In truth,
you can't even eat it.
The whole thing. Brought up like Activision, you brought Bethesda. I think someone we're really missing out on is someone who put a lot of stake in Battlefront 2, enough to like base a PS4 stuff around it, was Sony.
Just a first, like...
I do not foresee a world where Star Wars games are exclusive to a console.
I
don't think that's Sony's angle. The money that's an interesting thought but the reason that kind of got EA basically with every franchise they have, they say, who wants the marketing deal? They gave it to Mass Effect. I think they gave it to Xbox, even though it came out on PS4. They gave the Battlefront to Sony. Mm-hmm. But I think that no matter what, Star Wars is going to be in the hands of one of three, even though I wish that the fourth would be involved. EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, which is the one I wish, and then Activision is the other one.
Yeah.
I could see Activision getting it because they're right up there with EA as far as like size and what they're able to do.
Yeah, but I don't know, and maybe that is the case, like of the marketing thing. Actually, I don't think my never really realized it because FIFA kind of was pumped up on Xbox and.
I think Ubisoft has the highest chance of getting it because they're like the next like big huge like.
Activision's bigger than Ubisoft though.
Well, yeah, them too. I guess so. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be one of those two. My heart, I wish it was Bethesda because even though I don't love everything they made, like you guys know, I felt weird about Prey.
But they haven't done really licensed stuff, whereas Activision has and Ubisoft.
But what I was gonna say is that they are doing single player games. Wolfenstein, Evil Within, Doom, Prey, Dishonored, Elder Scrolls, like. Bethesda would do the Star Wars RPG that I wish existed.
But sorry, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it's okay.
I just know it.
But then again, you did get your Dark Souls.
Got your Dark Souls remaster?
Yeah, we got Dark Souls remaster on the way.
So, that's it for game news talk. What have we been playing this month? What have you been up to?
Man, I'm going to level with you guys. Been a busy month.
Yeah.
I'm going to level with you too.
Nothing?
Just about nothing.
Did you get any further on Bloodborne?
No. So, this month was
month.
so unbelievably crazy. I did two things, though, that I think are noteworthy. Number one, I really only did one thing. Okay. I have an iMac. Okay, so I've never gotten into emulating because I didn't trust downloading that stuff on my PC. It just always seemed sketchy, and it always seemed like with emulating on a PC, you have to get a different emulator for every system.
Sure, yeah.
And then you get worried about the malware when you're downloading when you're getting your ROMs from your game onto your computer and you're ripping it.
Legally, yes.
Yeah.
So I had this iMac that I bought off of someone. From Zach. I bought an iMac off of Zach a while ago, and there's an emulator I've been wanting to try out, which is kind of like a collection of emulators called OpenEMU. I don't know. I think that's what you use.
Yes.
So I downloaded OpenEMU, and I started kind of like trying out different old like Nintendo and SNES games. So I kind of just had fun with that. I played some Donkey Kong Country, played some Pokemon Yellow, played some Super Mario, got Super Metroid. Haven't really touched it yet, but I'm kind of thinking about diving into that some.
Yeah,
kind of diving into some
of those old games. They make it so easy. If you have a Mac, oh my gosh, get OpenEMU.
OpenEMU.
Yeah.
It has all of the emulators in one, like all of the different cores for the different
systems I didn't even know existed.
Are all in there. It's super. It's the most easiest software I think I've ever used.
Here's what I'm going to say. I don't do anything illegal. I buy my own movies. Yeah. I get music off whatever. Okay, cool. I buy my own games. Here's the thing. Nintendo, I bought a Switch.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for you to give me the ability to play these games on the Switch.
Yeah.
And if you give me the ability, I will buy them on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah.
But the longer you wait, man, I'm not going to feel bad about getting my, getting some ROMs for some different old games. Because I'm sorry, do it. Just do it and I'll pay you. It's the same thing as the Star Wars. The original Star Wars trilogy, you can't buy it unaltered. So I have an illegal copy of an unaltered thing because you can't buy it. Make it purchasable on one of your modern systems.
A good role for that stuff is is it easily attainable? Either in a physical media or a virtual console thing. Oh, it's not? Then go, pirate all that stuff, you know what I mean? If it's not easily for you to give them the money, because you want, us as consumers, we want to buy that stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's not available, then, the stuff I do emulate is, games I do have most of the time or whatever, but,
I emulated PS2 games on my PC. That was pretty fun.
Nice. So I will say, if you guys have recommendations of, I'm going to be honest, I've never beaten the original Super Mario Brothers NES, SNES era, and those two NES, SNES, Sega Genesis,
Chrono Trigger.
Anything of that era. If you want to give me like your favorite game, or you want to give me like something I have to play, give me a list because I'll probably be trying to play some of that stuff over this next year.
Have you beat Earthbound?
No, never played it.
Bud,
never played
we
it.
gotta talk.
This is the Earthbound man.
Like, we gotta talk about greatest
We gotta talk
RPGs.
about
We'll talk, man. We'll talk.
We'll
Do
talk.
you think right now? Do you think that that's your favorite?
Overall,
That's your favorite
that was my
game,
favorite
right?
RPG of all time.
Gotcha.
It's so beautiful. The colors are there.
That's on my
and
list still.
The character. You haven't played it either.
I've like turned
I don't
it
feel like I
on.
know you guys. Like, are you serious?
It is on my list. I will get to it. I booted it up one time and then just kind of put it down.
It's so like. It's so old school.
I liked Undertale so much, so I know I'll like this.
But see, I think
I
Undertale. The
like
difference between
Undertale.
Earthbound and Undertale is Undertale gives you direction, or Earthbound doesn't.
Yeah.
And the world is so kind of like big. It doesn't look big, but it's like
I'll just be
explorable.
YouTubing a lot. I'll be YouTubing a lot where to go next.
You can take it whichever
Kind
way you
of.
want, but I kind of feel like you shouldn't do that. The same way how I should
If I get
summon in Dark
stuck-
Souls, you shouldn't look up stuff.
Okay.
We're adults here. I only got so much time. I was playing Donkey Kong Country. This might make you scream, and I had the emulator, and I had set it to where I could just press R. So I was playing on my keyboard. Press R to rewind. Every time I died, I was just holding R, just rewinding. Like,
Yeah.
I was like braiding my way through that whole.
Why
game.
is that not in Dark Souls?
Yeah, that's funny because like I booted that up recently because I got this. Excuse me, SNES Classic.
Yeah.
And I booted that up, and I got through a couple levels, and yeah, I will scream about that. I think the fun way is to play Dark Souls, but I mean, I did that with Dark Souls, where I just kind of did the save state.
Yeah.
To each their own. I played, or I beat Final Fantasy V.
Nice.
That game has the exact same issue as every freaking Final Fantasy
Oh no.
in the series.
Oh.
You get towards the end, and it makes it so incredibly hard for you to like heal and level up or get back out of the dungeon if you find yourself too weak. There was places towards the end of this game where it's like, hey, beat this extremely hard boss, and when you do a save spot, that's where the save spot's at. Where save spots would normally be to like kind of guide you through that last dungeon, they are under a hard boss.
Yeah.
And like I was running out of health items, and it's like, oh, I have to fight another like hard mini boss to like get the save spot. I don't have enough healing, my magic power. Okay, this sucks. So I did what I've had to do with a couple other Final Fantasies. I'm at the last boss, the last level. I go to YouTube and I watch the
Oh,
end.
you didn't beat it?
I didn't like beat it. I just went to the freaking
Why?
because it gets so obnoxious. It's like
Really?
because you go to the last boss of every Final Fantasy and it's like, all right, fight me, and like you fight him. Huh, I've got a second form, and then you fight that. It's like, huh, I've got 5 more forms to fight. So
See, I beat Final Fantasy V a couple years ago. Awesome game.
yeah, it was fun. I had fun with it.
I love
every game I
love
apart
the
of
job
series.
system so much that I got
never
my
done this.
people knowing all the jobs.
Yeah.
And I grinded. Maybe you didn't do that. I grinded in this one
I was
temple
pretty high
with these
level.
stone guys, and I kind of breezed through it. It wasn't easy, but like
At
I
what
beat
point
it.
do you not think like I should be, like you don't say anything? I need to spend like an hour of grinding because you know it's coming.
How many times did you fight the final boss before you just said I'll watch it on YouTube?
10.
Like twice, but the problem is I knew I had to walk all the way back out. I don't even know if it was a way I could actually walk back out now that I'm looking at it. I had to fight that boss. I was running out of magic stuff, so I'm like, I hate getting stuck at the end. Like, I need to go get healing items, but I can't leave.
You didn't have a save state from right before you fought him?
No.
Why not?
You're a king of save
Were you just
states.
Did you use any save states?
Yeah, I use save states, but I overrode it because I thought I was in a safe spot. I thought, I get stuck sometimes at the end of those earlier RPGs. Now, most RPGs are smart to not do that freaking just bad design. I just get stuck. I get literally... Xenosaga has that really badly, too, towards the end. Like, you're just stuck.
Can't you just...
I just watch it on YouTube.
Isn't this like I know it's wrong, but couldn't you just put a cheat where it just heals everybody?
Tried to put cheats, didn't work.
So,
I've done that before.
Remind me, was that your last... You've beaten them all now?
I've beaten all of the main ones minus Final Fantasy 13-2 and 13-3, which is Lightning Returns.
Well,
I've beaten all the main number ones.
You beat 11?
That's an online game. Get out of here.
11 and 14.
You know, me and Travis made a pact that one day when he gets up to it, we'd play 11 together.
It's an MMORPG. Yeah, I didn't play those.
They're supposed to make a phone version of 11.
Oh my god!
I don't think that's
guys. I stalled out on 8. Man, I played 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I started at 8, and I just must have started at the wrong time because I have washed out on that one.
Have you played 10?
No.
Buddy, you need to get the 10.
I want to play 8. I think that the problem is I bought it on the PC, and all the other Final Fantasies I played 4, 5, and 6 on my phone. And then 7 I played on the PS4. 8 I'm playing on the PC, and it's like either I'm playing with a keyboard, which feels really weird for Final Fantasy, and the keys are all weird and I have to memorize. Or
is it not controller support?
No, or I play with the Steam controller, which is weird. So I'm thinking that I almost need to do like... Even though I own it on Steam, maybe I should emulate the PS1 version.
Yeah.
And like use like an Xbox controller and just be done with it.
Yeah,
maybe so.
And then I could do like save states before I do the card game and stuff like that. But I have the Steam version. It's got a weird DRM on it. It's not unplayable. It's just enough roadblocks that I have not stuck with it. But I was really digging the story of 8 when I was
really hoping you get to the point where you get to play 10 because
I'm going to.
I want to hear you talk about
I went ahead and bought 9 was really cheap.
10 would be a fun hangout. When you like start that, maybe we'll just come over.
Oh, I'd cry.
9 was really cheap on PS4, and they gave me a code that like expired in February for like a discount, like 40% off on a game for PS4. So I went ahead and bought 10 for like $8.
Nice.
Or 9. I bought 9 for $8 on PS4. So I'll be back on PlayStation for 9. And then 10 I don't have yet, but I'll get it eventually.
Well, man, I hope you find time to get back to that.
I'll get back to it. It's just the card game and the whole thing.
Well,
I like the idea of being in an academy, though, and like it's cool.
Stuff.
Well, you guys have been over in Gamer Land. I've been in Casual Land.
What have you been doing in Casual Land?
Hanging out playing NBA 2K18.
Okay. Casual corner. Casual corner.
Casual corner. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back.
So excited to have you here in a very casual corner.
How's NBA?
NBA 2K18. All right.
Wait a minute. I hope you. Okay, I'll just let you talk.
So.
Well, I saw him doing something the other day. It was funny.
I was so mad. Right? So mad because the game has the worst servers in the world, but on top of that, they added somebody who is a complete troll, and it sucks because when you play My Player, you have a phone. And your phone, you get updates from people.
I walk in and his character's like got his phone and it's on like his phone and there's a social
and
media.
Jacob's on his phone.
So I get on my Twitter, on my player's Twitter,
his player's Twitter.
And there's a guy named LeVar Ball.
LeVar Ball. What do you do?
He's a troll in real life. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard that name.
LeVar Ball's the guy who his sons play basketball, and he's like out in the media all the time saying crazy stuff and saying he's better than Michael Jordan.
He's like the Lakers. His son plays for the Lakers. Has a pretty good head coach. He just needs some people around him. He's like, you should fire the head coach.
Yeah, he's like,
trash.
And he started the Big Baller brand.
Yeah, the Big Baller brand selling $350 shoes.
You tell me about this.
Shoes, yeah, $600 shoes.
But I haven't seen
his Better Business Bureau was an F. And he's like, who listens to that crap anyways?
He's like the Trump of like...
He's the Trump of basketball.
Hey,
he really is.
There was a guy who ordered shoes. He's like, I haven't received my shoes. It's been a year. And he's like, guess you're not a big baller.
You would like it.
I bought shoes. I didn't get my shoes.
Yeah. So you're on your player's Twitter on the game.
And I'm sitting there, he's called me trash. He's
on
like,
Twitter.
This guy's trash.
Fake Twitter.
He's like, have you heard this January kid? Yeah, he's nothing like my boy Lonzo. So I'm like, what? So that was really funny. That's really cool. It's really interactive. It adds a nice little like.
That is fun.
Well, then he texts you.
Yeah. So then, he texts me. He's like, "This is big baller," and I'm like, "What?" Like, and it gives you like options to text back, like certain text chats. So I kept asking, "Who is this?" He's like, "You wish you could be a big baller like me." And this is stuff that he would say. Like, this is stuff that he would in real life. He would honestly say.
Didn't he end up saying he wants you to come on to his son's team?
Yeah. He's like, "Hey. You should come pay my boy Lonzo. You just told me I'm trash a minute ago."
I'll tell you what, Madden's
trash.
got a story mode and NBA's got a phone
mode.
That is really hey, that makes me want to check that out.
You gotta check this guy. I think he'd be your favorite celebrity.
You would like
But
really funny.
I think what I'm impressed by 2K overall is like every year they tend to like tweak very small things, but they're such significant things that makes the game better. that I'm starting to think they're going to start hitting a plateau because there's not much else they can do to make it any better.
I wish 2K could make a football game again.
I know, dude. Hey, if they make a football game that's like the basketball games, we're in there.
2K football was just the best.
Yeah. But they do it. It's been fun. The only thing I can sit here and say that's absolutely terrible is the servers. Like, it's hard to play online matches because they don't have, 2K doesn't have the greatest server support. And so you can't get on there and play a non-laggy basketball game.
Yeah.
But, side story. You guys ready for this?
I am.
I'm not the most technically savvy person. I know a little bit. I know enough. I can get by more than the average person. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm so sick of lagging in basketball because I'm trying to play a lot of online. I need to fix this. So I look up a tutorial and they're like, oh, you need to open up your ports in your router. So that's when I went digging through my router.
That's when I stopped.
Okay.
And I am more technically inclined, and that's when I stopped. Like, if I'm opening up ports and doing buzz off.
Travis, just so you know, I went into our router. So I opened up my browsers. Had my MacBook right there, had my computer open, and I'm like reading this form. I'm like, okay, open up port 88 through 103, and I'm typing all these ports in. And I'm like, okay, they're saying these ports, once you open these, you should have NAT type 2, which, you know how PlayStation is. They categorize NAT types, and NAT type 2 is the perfect NAT type. NAT type 1 means like you're vulnerable. NAT type 3 means it's very strict, you won't be able to connect. NAT type 2 is like, you're sailing, you're good to go. Okay. So I'm trying to get this NAT type 2. I log in. My connection's worse. It's like 5 megabits per second. And now...
Wait a minute. How long ago did you do this? Because internet's been bad since you did.
Hey, I did it.
Dude, internet has been bad.
I did it yesterday.
Because your NAT type's open.
Did it yesterday. I deleted the ports. It didn't work. So I know it's not that.
We need to delete our internet service provider.
We need to call Spectrum.
Yeah.
I swear, they set you up there. They put on a timer. They say, hey... They're a new customer. Give them good service for 1 year, and then after that,
well, you're linked to the way it is you're linked with like the neighborhood. So if enough people, like when I first signed up for it was blazing, but if enough people, you're sharing basically with the neighborhood.
But see, the Spectrum guys I was hanging out with, they're like, yeah, a lot of these guys end up having Cincinnati Bell, and we can't ever get them to switch. They told me that, so I was like, oh, dude, that's perfect.
Yeah,
you're lying to me. So why would you lie about that? But anyways, so I did some port forwarding stuff that didn't work. So then I ended up calling because I went through a tutorial and they said, hey. You need to log into your PPOE account through your internet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's a PPOE? And apparently it's a way you pass through over Ethernet.
Yeah.
So what it is you go over to your custom settings when you set up your Wi-Fi, and they give you, say, hey, what's your email and your password for your PPOE account? And then the bottom of the thing it says, if you do not know these things, contact your internet provider. Okay. So I called Spectrum. I was like, hey, I need my PPOE login. He's like, why do you want your PPOE account? And he was offended. He's like, sir, you should never ask for those things. Those are our servers. We do not hand out those logins. And I'm like, but I can send you a picture of what my PS4 is telling me to ask for, and I'm asking you for it. Can you give it to me? I'm your customer. Yeah. And he's like, sir, that's highly confidential. We cannot give that out. And I'm saying, like, why would they ask for that then on PlayStation?
Yeah.
So eventually he's like, well, maybe you should just learn to hardwire your PS4. And then I was just,
hey, mother effer, you shut the F up. So oh my God.
Hey, it was one of the rudest phone calls. I think I made him so offended.
Oh my God.
Ask him about PPOE. I don't know what it really means.
Nobody hardwires his butt, man.
His name was Andrew. His name was Andrew.
Oh my God.
Andrew, if you're watching this,
F off.
Buzz off.
So I ended up
internet. I am done with them.
So I ended up just taking the cord to my thing and plugging it in.
Yeah.
And I got 50 megabytes, but it's still unstable. So I need my PPOE login. So
it's time.
Call back, and maybe we'll get somebody other than Andrew. But if the second person's offended, maybe you are in the dark. You're in the dark web,
the dark
dude.
web, bro.
You're the dark web.
So yeah, it's really scary. So I've been playing 2K18. I really like it. It's a typical sports game. The only other game I'm trying to chugging through right now, just for the sake of I love the series, is Dragon Ball FighterZ. Oh, yeah. Starting to hit a wall because the game is very simple fighting mechanics.
Well, and your Popo,
I'm
your
glad
PPOE.
I didn't hop in on that because when it first came out, I was like, "Oh, it looks so cool! I want to play a fighting game." It looks great. I'm glad I held off.
It's not. You can get really good at it, and it's like, oh, you get so good at it, it's stupid. But then it's like, well, the game's easy. No wonder you're getting good at it. So,
but fighting games are always you're supposed to end up playing other people.
Yeah,
that is the true test of a fighting game: is how does it play when you play against each other.
Well, I can't ever get into a lobby, so I can't tell you. I only have access to so many lobbies.
You got Andrew won't give up the PPOE account.
So yeah. Other than that, man, games have been. I played Fortnite for a couple days.
Man, my fiance's nephews have been into that. My cousins have been that. Little kids.
It is.
It's PUBG, but for kids.
It's PUBG.
Dude, hold on. Don't you say that.
And it's got Minecraft elements of like crafting.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I give it credit. It has things that PUBG doesn't have that makes it a lot more fun.
Fortnite is overthrowing PUBG.
Fortnite is very interesting to me because when it's kind of blown up now, Fortnite's interesting because like I actually looked it up. I was like, that's the game that Cliffy B was kind of working on. It was Epic Games, or it is Epic Games or whatever. But I was like, that game was announced in 2011.
It was a different game,
and
it was
like you kind of defended your base and stuff. And I remember looking at that going like, that's weird. It was only PC only, and they basically did a 180 with that game. That is a whole different kind of...
Even up until a year ago, it was still the base building.
They copy-pasted PUBG's kind of stuff. They stole all that stuff.
And there were people that bought it in early access. Basically, it was an early access game you had to buy, but then when they made the Battle Royale mode, which is free-to-play, that is what's exploded. So now everybody's playing the free-to-play mode, and then the people that originally were on it for like the other end of it are like totally abandoned now. Like they're working on it.
What's crazy, it's free to play.
That worked out for them. That was a smart move.
It's very heavily microtransaction based, but it's not hampering the gameplay. So
how does it not hamper the gameplay?
Like
is it all cosmetic stuff?
It's all cosmetics, but it's also like
wow.
I don't think you get power ups, but you get like what is it? There's something they do that's like kind of like you get better
perks.
Not perks, I guess equipment drop percentage. So like when you go to a chest...
sounds like it affects the gameplay.
But I don't think they're...
I guess it's not enough to where I don't hear people complain about it.
I might be wrong. I think you can only buy a certain amount of them.
Too.
I think you can only buy a certain amount of them.
Yeah, if
so
it's
not
free,
like you buy like...
Yeah, you don't get to choose.
Yeah, it's free to play.
Yeah.
That's what you expect. Like,
what do you expect of that? But I also beat Shadow of the Colossus. We did a hangout, me and Zach, recently on that.
Zach and Zach.
That game looks gorgeous. That game is also a PS2 game. It's one of my favorite games of all time, but it's funny. Like, some stuff is like kind of cleaned up gameplay-wise, just a bit, but it still plays like a PS2 game that looks gorgeous.
Dude.
Like, getting on the back, sometimes you're like trying to wrestle with the camera, and like the Colossus will take off, and you're like really behind. The camera gets fricked out, but honestly, it's real fun. It's getting on the back, and that music pops up, and it's so really And I found out playing this game in my current like age and my gaming history, this game is 5 hours and you're done with it.
Yeah, it's not very long.
And it feels like an epic adventure, and that is a great length of this game. Like 5 hours, you're in, you're out.
I love that.
Awesome. They say the music's what makes it.
Yes, the music's fun. Like
the music's unbelievable. Yeah. It's so good.
Music's great.
And the visuals, it's not just the graphics themselves. It's like when and I haven't played the remaster, but like when you enter new areas, you know that there's a Colossus around, and like sometimes they like blend in with the environment, or they're just like very like iconic when you come up on them. Like there's a bird one that like is sitting on like this stone to where when you come in, it's like, oh my gosh, that looks amazing.
When's the last time you guys played a game and your game was like, hey, this might be my game of the year, and the soundtrack sucked?
The soundtrack sucked? Nothing recent. It's either like serviceable and I don't notice it, or it's incredible.
I can't think of bad sound.
I never heard anything where I was like,
I guess when I say the word sucked, it's
which
kind
maybe
of
is a testament to how good the composers are.
Yeah, that probably is. But I'm not. I guess when I say the word sucked, it means like this game's gameplay was so amazing that the soundtrack didn't matter.
I would say, you know what, a game that I did notice the soundtrack because it kept looping too often, was driving me nuts. Toomba 2. I played not long ago, and that one stood out to me as like, okay, we got to stop this. Like, and I was like, okay, that's it. Like, that's the whole song on some of the stuff.
I think those are the games like that's something to chew about. I was thinking about that.
Think about that.
Maybe like a week ago, because I was like, man, all my games like Mass Effect had a pretty good soundtrack. Halo had an amazing soundtrack. Oh my gosh.
Put in the comments what's a bad soundtrack.
Yeah, if you guys know about, I really want to know.
I want to listen to a bad.
I want to listen to a bad soundtrack.
That, like things like I think of multiplayer games a lot of times, like multiplayer only games like Dead by Daylight. It's forgettable. It's not that it's bad. It's just kind of forgettable.
Just eerie. I can't remember. That's
all
it is. It's like bassy, really low end stuff.
That's all it is.
Overwatch is very repetitive. Now that I'm thinking of Overwatch,
it's very good though.
It is very good.
It's not good. It is good. It's memorable. Like you hear Overwatch music, oh, that's Overwatch.
Like, it's
it reminds me of the Superman music.
Yeah,
it's like that.
But it's like It's not so significant.
It's not going to make you cry. It's not emotional whatsoever. It's just.
But would Breath of the Wild be the game that it was without a soundtrack?
I thought that soundtrack was great.
Yes, it would. It would be, but I thought the soundtrack was really good. It was very minimal.
Really?
Yes, it didn't have a ton of
that was little farts.
Yeah, it was a lot of little.
It'd be a piano. You'd be running.
That layered in and out.
Sometimes it wouldn't.
I think that soundtrack is a masterpiece in a way.
That's why I'm saying it's so good because it let the game be the game, which is why I think
that's. I don't mean minimal as an insult. I mean it as a compliment. Because they got a lot done with.
So if it wasn't there, obviously it would have took something away from it.
Well, you asked, would it be the game it is without the music? In a technical sense, no, it wouldn't be the same game. Yeah. But I feel like the gameplay itself would hold up without the music.
I agree.
I thought that's what you meant.
And sometimes it does. Sometimes that game goes silent, and you're just kind of out. But then it goes.
As far as games,
little farts out music. I love that.
I'll say a game that everybody hyped the soundtrack. Maybe this is a good example. A game where everybody hyped the soundtrack, and it was the most forgettable part of the game to me. Outside of maybe one part was Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Everybody always like, the soundtrack is so amazing. I listen to it.
Metal,
it's just all like cheesy metal. And I don't remember any of the songs. I don't ever go back and like, I want to listen to that song. I remember the moments and the fights and the stuff against the enemies. But like, I thought the soundtrack for that game was forgettable.
Sure. To me, I don't remember it.
It was serviceable.
In the moment, it's like it's really fun.
I just remember games like when I played Life is Strange, and I was like, man, without this soundtrack, this game would not be the game it was.
Games that have amazing soundtracks that I don't know. I think they are a character in the game, or Undertale.
Yeah.
That soundtrack is a character in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Doom.
I
don't know that Doom, the gameplay itself holds up, but I think that soundtrack,
it's what makes
it brings something to it. I'm trying to think of other examples. I think the first Mass Effect has a great soundtrack.
It does.
Synthy.
It's very suspense based, and it's like because you get in these little fights, and then you're like, it's all a big build up to the end of the mission, and the soundtrack. I don't know if you guys ever noticed it. It's a gradual build.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not kidding. It's like if you put it up like where you see the wavelengths, you'll see it like. And it starts building as you play one. It starts building. And I'm like, man, that's so impressive that you have something that progresses as you go along in the game. Yeah. Like, that's a good soundtrack.
That reminds me of when, like, in the old Banjo-Kazooie games. I think this was the first one that did that. In the old Banjo-Kazooie games, when you would go underwater, like, it would be playing, like, and then, like, if you go in the water, it's like... it changes the music, and then if you go into the snowy area, it has little bells to it, and the soundtrack like very like fluidly, dynamically changes.
It's a testament to the composers.
Yep, composers. This podcast is dedicated to composers.
Thank you.
Oh, I also
Uncharted, very forgettable music.
I couldn't tell.
Serviceable,
really
serviceable, very forgettable.
You just gotta struck a chord.
You struck a chord.
You struck a chord with that one.
I don't
remember. I played the first one and I don't remember much.
That's the theme song.
Didn't remember it.
Wow. Well, these people don't like
just
music.
Like strings. I don't know.
I mean, like you have like.
It's not bad. It's just functional.
Don't listen to them at all.
Would you go? Okay, Zach.
Cut up a piece of paper.
Let me ask you a question. Be honest.
Okay, computer screen is blocked over here. Okay, what?
Be honest. Two-part question.
Okay.
Number one. I'm going to ask you the first question and then the second question. The first question is this. Could you name another song besides the main theme song in Uncharted?
I don't know the names of the
titles.
Okay,
or just hum it. Could you hum it? And while you think about that...
I don't know.
And while you think about that, would you go to an Uncharted orchestra?
I would.
I would. Your pants is full of poop.
I would.
You're cracking out so
not
much.
Go to that.
I would.
And the best part is when you're like, can you hum another song? He's like... Oh my gosh.
Okay. Hopefully this
Horizon Zero Dawn had good music. Horizon Zero Dawn had good music.
I haven't played it.
Hum a song from that. I feel like we're doing what we used to do in school. Is that the freaking
Metal Gear Solid?
Metal Gear. I just reminded of when we would go up to like kids would come up to each other. It's like a joke thing in our school. If you had like a AC/DC shirt on, it was like, name 3 songs real quick. Or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that's what you're basically
players.
doing to me right now.
You know what? That was Cowboys name 3 players.
Yeah.
So yeah, last game I played was Rime.
Okay.
And I beat Rime. It's only like a 5-hour game.
I secured that. I secured my copy on PlayStation.
PS Plus and PS Plus.
Is that worth playing?
No, it's a you can play it. It's a mix of Ico, Wind Waker, and The Witness.
Ouch.
How long is it?
5 hours.
Ouch.
And what happened was I did it for a hangout, and I was having fun and stuff, and I was so far along, I was like, let's see this out. And the ending and stuff was really cool. Like, it actually does connect stuff, and you're like, this was a neat little game, but it's a you can play it. I think there's a...
If it was shorter, would it be better, or was it just blah all around?
I think if they could have cut it down to like 3 hours, that would have been... But it's 5. It's about 2 hours too long.
Look, here's the deal. I want my games like that 2 to 3 hours. Make it where I can play it in one sitting. Walking simulators, Edith Finch got it right. 1 hour.
Sure,
1 hour and 1 hour and a half.
Mm.
Shooters, I want my campaign 6 hours.
It really depends.
Make these games shorter, man.
It depends on the game. Like Breath of the Wild, I sunk 100 hours into.
Yes.
But there's certain games where, like, if Rime was just 2 hours shorter, that's what it kind of, like,
makes it, breaks it.
Yeah, if it was an hour, 2 hours short, that would have added to it. But, yeah, and then I did Driver on the Hangout. That was fun. Yeah.
Is that just a driving game? Is it like a story driving?
It's like Grand Theft Auto in some ways, where it's like an open world map. Like, I talked about during the Hangout of, like, it was really cool. As a kid, that was the first time I played like this. It was kind of my first open world. Kind of like... big map through all these stuff, so and then Driver 2 you can get out of the car.
I know.
And that changes things, and I'll probably be doing a hangout of that extremely soon.
Did you ever watch, and I know this is completely on the side, did you ever watch The Simpsons growing up?
I did not.
You didn't?
I wasn't allowed to.
Oh.
I wasn't allowed to either.
Why?
I don't know. I watched Family Guy.
I guess that's what I mean. Like,
I got DVDs of Family Guy from my friend.
Man, that was a game called Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yes, I heard that people that couldn't get Grand Theft Auto got Simpsons Hit and Run, and I guess it's pretty good. Except the loading times, I heard, were
terrible. But the game's hilarious. And the game, what it did was just it rendered the whole world. So of course the loading times back then were like so terrible.
There's something really novel about that, of like going around the Simpsons world, or South Park, going around the South Park world.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started.
When you take an animated world and make it somewhere you could go around, I think that's cool.
That's really cool.
Man, I love that game. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. That's such a good game. I can't wait for the DLC to come out. I'm waiting for DLC
come out? There was something DLC just announced for something. Oh, Assassin's Creed. I was going to ask if you were looking into that.
They're pumping stuff out. I've been
playing that.
I have been, but I haven't played the Origins. I've been playing Assassin's Creed 2.
Oh, okay.
I didn't bring it up because I
Assassin's Creed 2 you've been playing.
So they came out with the Ezio trilogy.
Okay.
And they were like, hey,
you've been playing 2, because 2's my favorite.
Yeah, so
2
what
is incredible.
They just came out with this, by the way. They were like, hey, a lot of people bought Assassin's Creed Origins, and everybody said they want to play Ezio, so they put it back out, and they just kind of touched it up.
On PS4?
Yeah, PS4.
Okay.
They didn't remaster or remake it, but they kind of just touched it up, made it look better, make it run better. Man, dude, Assassin's Creed 2
is the best in the series.
I'm going to have to play that one day. I haven't played Assassin's Creed.
That one has a rad story.
Yep.
It fixes the issue the first one has. Mm-hmm. Just play Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, and then if you like the time period of 3, play 3.
Don't play 3.
Origins.
Okay.
I played Black Flag before I played 3.
Speaking of the DLC they announced for Origins, they're saying that Origins is like going to be a platform. Like they're going to keep that game for a while. They said that they're going to keep releasing DLC for it, like the Witcher. They said kind of like The Witcher.
Hey, I'm telling you,
that's pretty cool.
They brought the RPG element to that game, and I'm glad they did, because the RPG element wasn't really in the other ones. It's more of like an adventure action game, because you don't really you buy stuff and level up, but you don't really level up. You just level your health up.
Yeah.
In this one, you cannot fight people that you're not prepared for.
Yeah.
You're going to get fricked up.
So are you still playing Origins, or are you just...
I picked it up maybe one time, and I played it for like an hour, and then I put it back down.
So you're going back to the old ones now.
I'm playing the old ones just because I saw it on sale on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I want to play Assassin's Creed 2 too so bad. I will go back to Origins.
How far along do you think you are in 2?
In 2?
Yeah.
4 hours?
Okay. 2 has such a rad story.
I just assassinated my second person.
Such a cool story.
Yeah.
They do that in that game? Weird. Yeah, so I think that about does it.
Man.
That's February.
That's February. In the bag. About the channel, check out Dweebo, the Dweebo Twitter, Dweebo YT. Tweet. That will be your source if I'm about to stream, if we're about to have, an impromptu stream or just a reminder when stuff goes up. I'll be posting videos on there, podcast, whatever. Also, I'll be streaming, if you're watching this, I'm probably going to have it up tomorrow maybe, hopefully. Tomorrow should be Sunday, and at 3:30. I do Sundays at 3:30 p.m.
Tomorrow's not Sunday.
I mean, tomorrow it should be up. This podcast should be
up. Okay. I was
should be watching this on Saturday, I hope. But Sundays at 3:30 p.m. and Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. You're going to tune in for a hangout. We had a great one with Driver recently. Just jump in. I commentate about the games. Sometimes these guys join me. Sometimes other people. I pull people off the street and I go, "Have you ever played Mario?"
And people are lined up at his door.
And they go, "Yeah, I have."
What are you playing on Sunday?
Sunday. Here's the thing. I've been back and forth with 500 subscribers. I want to give back to the fans. I do have something planned for this Sunday that should be happening. They have heard. You don't want to miss this.
Don't want to miss this. You're also on Twitch, right?
I'll be tuning in.
Yes, on Twitch and on YouTube. You don't want to miss Sunday. If you're watching this on, I should have this up by Saturday. Don't miss tomorrow. I'll put it on my Twitter. I'll put it on everything.
Cancel everything.
Cancel everything that you're doing. Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. It's going to
go down.
500 subscribers. I don't think I could do anything better for you guys, honestly.
No, you couldn't.
He knows what I'm doing. So, yeah, tune into that. And, we have hangouts at those dates. And thank you. The first time in the new location. The new game room. Thank you for. I got a lot of feedback on the game room tour. Did you guys?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, it's crazy that you're going to have to do a new one when you finish your big move.
When I finish this, for the big move. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I do give you credit. You're fit so much in what the space you have.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like when you're walking around, you're like, I don't know if you ever had that moment when you're like, man, I have no room.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I get like angry, like livid at times because I bump into stuff or whatever. But what was funny about the game room tour was like I finished that video and put up and I was like, man, I deserve to get made fun of like this is so compact. But I got a lot of good feedback. Like, people were saying some.
I like your room. We spent a lot of time there.
We did.
Good memories there.
Good
memories. A lot of memories. We'll build.
That's another reason I did it was like this is for like me too. Like
we'll go back and watch
the
and cry.
Watch and cry. So yeah, there will be a new game room tour when I get this kind of room kind of set because right now
I know these posters look great.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, they're blank right now, but they will be filled in with content. That's how posters work.
I think it's DLC.
Yeah,
we're waiting for it to come in.
So thank you for watching.
Thanks for being early access.
Yeah, this is the early access podcast.
So please, we need money to fund what we do. So go to our Patreon.
That we definitely have.
Link below.
GoFundMe, Square Cash, Venmo, PayPal.
Venmo, Square Cash.
You can message your credit card.
Paper checks.
Send check to
We'll take cash. Just send us cash.
P.O. Box.
DweeBros at Gamer Lane.
Yeah.
That's where I live.
Facebook Cash.
There's just a bunch of
cash.
What else is there?
Google Wallet. Oh, no, Android Pay.
Google Play.
PayPal.
PayPal.
Venmo.
Bitcoin.
Send in your Bitcoin.
We need your Bitcoin. And I'll tell you right now, if you want to see us succeed, screw the cash. Give us your Bitcoin.
Ad revenue.
Yes.
Just refresh the video 6 times.
Yeah, we really need the ads.
Refresh it.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be
cash. Coins.
Money.
Gold.
Yeah.
Gold's coming back.
Doubloons.
Gold's coming back.
Doubloons. Rubies. We need rubies.
Your treasure.
Yeah. Yeah.